The MSys Objects System Table presents us with an opportunity to get a dynamic listing of all of the objects within our database. By making use of some creative query criteria and the type field that we explored in the last movie, we can use this normally hidden table to help end users navigate the database. Let me show you how we can create a dynamic combo box that instantly allows any report to be run from the menu system as soon as they're added to the database. For this, we're going to modify our Reports menu. From the main menu, I'll click on Reports, and that'll open up Main Menu Reports. I'm going to right-click on this and choose Design View. Now what I want to do is create a combo box that pulls out a list of our existing reports in the navigation pane. I'll start this by going to the Design tab, choosing Combo Box, and then dropping one down in our Report menu. That'll start up the Combo Box wizard. Now in this case, we're not going to be able to use the wizard because we're going to be making use of a hidden system table. So I'll press Cancel or the Escape key on my keyboard to get out of the wizard. Let's go ahead and rearrange this a little bit. I'm going to click on the handle in the upper left-hand corner of this Combo 12 label, and I'll drag and drop it on top of my combo box. I'm going to double-click on that, and then select the text, and I'm going to change it to say, Select a Report. I'll go ahead and make my combo box a little bit wider, and now what I need to do is edit the row source, or the list that'll appear in this combo box. If the property sheet isn't open, go ahead and open it with this button here on the ribbon, and for the combo box, which is currently named Combo 12 in my case, go ahead and choose the row source, and then click Build. That'll open up a new query builder for this combo box. In the Show Table window, again, we can't select the system table here, so I'll just go ahead and close it. In order to build this query, we'll have to actually write out the SQL code. So let's go into SQL mode by clicking this button up here on the ribbon, and that'll open up my text editor. So here's the code that we need to use. I'm going to select the name field from the table called MSys Objects. So I'll write select name from MSys Objects. Now we need to add in a filtering criteria so it only returns reports. I'll go down to the next line and I'll type in a where clause. So where. In this case, I want the type to be equal to -32764. That's the type that corresponds to the reports that we saw in the last movie. So I'll say type is equal to -32764. Now there's one other criteria that we need to add here. Access will sometimes in the background create hidden system objects that all start with a tilde character. We can go ahead and filter these out so they never appear in our drop-down list as well. So I'll add in the criteria and I'll say that the left first character from the name field, so left and inside parentheses of the name field, comma 1, that's the first character of the name. I'll type a less than and a greater than character. That means is not equal to. And then in quotation marks, I'll type the tilde character. So here we're saying we only want the objects whose type is -32764, those are our reports, and where the first character of the name is not equal to a tilde character. Finally, let's go ahead and sort these. I'll go ahead and go down to the next line and I'll type order by, and we're going to order those by name. Finally, I'll add a semicolon at the end, and that finishes our SQL statement. If we go ahead and run it, we'll see the only report that's in our database is orders by state report. Let's go ahead and close the query. We'll save the changes. And now we just need to add a button that'll open up whatever report we have selected in this drop-down list. On the Design tab, I'll go ahead and add a button here, and I'll click down here to add that button. The command button wizard starts up, and if I go through into my report operations and say open a report, it's going to want to know a specific report to open. In this case, I want to be a little bit more dynamic and open up a report that we're naming over here in this drop-down list. So the command button wizard isn't going to help us out. Go ahead and cancel out of this, and we'll build this button manually. I'll make sure that the button is selected. On the name field, instead of command 14, I'm going to give this a button, the name of BTN Run Report. The caption is what's going to appear, and I'm just going to type in Run Report. I'll press Tab to change that down here. On the Event tab, we're going to add an on-click event. This is what's going to happen when the user clicks on this button. We'll go ahead and click the Build button over here, and we'll start up the macro builder. Go ahead and say OK, and we'll add our action. The action is going to be Open Report. Now the first option under the Open Report action is going to ask me which report I want to open. And if I use this drop-down list here, you'll notice that it only gives me the one option of the Orders by State report, which is the only report that we have. We want to be a little bit more dynamic and link this to the drop-down list that we just made. So what I need to do is actually name the drop-down list so I can refer to it over here. Let's go ahead and save our changes at this point, and I'll close this. And when it asks to save, I'll say yes. And what we need to do is name this combo box. So I'm going to click on the combo box. I'll go to the All tab, and I'll give it a name that I can recognize. I'm going to go ahead and name this CBO Report Select. Now I can refer to the CBO Report Select combo box that's on the form Main Menu Reports. Let's go back into this button and finish off the macro. I'll click on the Event tab, the Embedded macro, I'll continue building it. And here, the report name where it says Orders by State, I'm going to write in a little bit of code. I'll say equals CBO Report Select. For the view mode, I'm going to change it from opening in Report View to open up directly into Print Preview mode. And we'll go ahead and close our macro and save the changes. So now I have a dynamic listing here that should show me all the reports in my database in this drop-down list, and then run report based off of whatever my selection has been. Go ahead and switch into Form View, and we'll test it out. I'll use the drop-down list. I'll see Orders by State as my only report. If I go ahead and go back to the main menu and save the changes, and then make a duplicate of this report, I'll right-click on it and say Copy, and then right-click again and say Paste to just make a copy. I'll go into the Reports screen, and now my drop-down list should show me both reports. I can choose the report, Orders by State, press Run Report, and the report opens. So by using the MSys objects table, we were able to pull out an always current listing of our report objects and use that as input into a macro that opens up the specified report in print preview mode. And with a little customization to the where clause of the underlying query, you could dynamically pull out a listing of other objects in the database just by using the appropriate type number that we saw earlier.